December 2005. A Continental Airlines flight sits delayed for over 2 hours. The FAA issues a fine. A lawsuit demands $400,000. And Victoria Osteen, co-pastor of America's largest church, stands at the center of it all. The jury cleared her. The internet never did. That moment became the first receipt in a digital archive that keeps growing. An airline altercation, a viral sermon, a hurricane, a shooting. Each incident, isolated, could be explained. Together, they reveal a pattern Lakewood can't preach away. To understand how one person's public moments became a church's recurring problem, you need to see the institution first. Lakewood Church isn't a typical congregation. The building alone tells that story. In 2003, the church secured a long-term lease on Houston's former Compaq Center, the same arena that hosted NBA championships and major concerts. Over $80 million went into renovations. The result, 16,800 seats, production studios, childcare facilities, and classrooms spread across a complex that operates like a small city. By the mid-2000s, Lakewood reported 45,000 weekly attendees across multiple services, one of the largest single-campus churches in America. And at the center of it all, two faces, Joel Osteen, the unmistakable brand, and Victoria Osteen, listed officially as co-pastor. The church's website names them both. Press releases include both titles. She preaches, she leads the women's ministry, she stands on stage every week. Yet when the public thinks Lakewood, they see Joel's face on billboards, book covers, and television broadcasts. This creates a unique accountability gap. The institution claims shared leadership. The brand runs on a single personality. And when controversy lands on the secondary leader, the question becomes, who's really responsible? That gap was about to get tested in ways Lakewood never anticipated. December 10, 2005. Continental Airlines Flight 1602 to Vail, Colorado. Victoria Osteen sat in first class with her family when she noticed a liquid spill on her armrest. What happened next turned a minor complaint into a federal case. The confrontation with flight attendant Sharon Brown escalated. The Osteens left the plane before takeoff. The flight sat delayed for more than 2 hours. The Federal Aviation Administration investigated and fined Victoria $3,000 for interfering with a flight crew. She paid. Sharon Brown saw it differently. She filed a civil lawsuit seeking $405,000 in damages, alleging assault and emotional distress. The case went to trial in Houston in August 2008. Passengers testified, flight crew testified. After less than 3 hours of deliberation, the jury delivered their verdict, not liable. 0 damages awarded. The jury foreman called it a waste of time, legal victory, public relations disaster. The story spread across news outlets and online forums. Critics framed it as evidence of entitlement. Supporters called it a frivolous lawsuit weaponized against a public figure. But the incident established something that would repeat. Victoria Osteen's confrontational moments make headlines in ways Joel's rarely do. The airline incident became a reference point. Then came the sermon that turned into a weapon. April 2014. Victoria stood at Lakewood's podium and delivered a message about obedience and joy. One line cut through. When we obey God, we're not doing it for God. We're doing it for ourselves, because that's what makes God happy. Within days, a short clip circulated online, stripped from context, shared thousands of times. The reaction was immediate and fierce. Critics called it Christian narcissism. Commentators accused Lakewood of turning worship into self-help. Theology professors dissected the phrase on blogs and podcasts. The clip became Exhibit A for anyone arguing that prosperity gospel twists scripture into personal gain. Defenders pushed back hard. They pointed to the full sermon where Victoria described God's desire for people to flourish. They argued the phrase, though awkwardly worded, echoed a common theme. Honoring God leads to a fulfilled life. Context matters, they insisted. But online, context dies quickly. The 10-second clip lived forever. It resurfaced in critique videos, in Twitter threads, in Reddit discussions. A digital receipt that never expires. 2 incidents, 2 different outcomes in court and in public perception. Both became permanent marks on Victoria's public record, and both raised the same uncomfortable question Lakewood couldn't answer. Why do her moments generate more backlash than her co-pastors? The pattern was forming, but the receipts weren't finished. River Oaks, Houston, one of the most exclusive zip codes in Texas. In 2010, property records showed a transaction. Joel and Victoria Osteen purchased a home for $10.5 million. The sale made local headlines immediately. 17,000 square foot estate. 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, 3 elevators. The Osteens stated publicly that book royalties and speaking fees funded the purchase, not church salary. Technically accurate, optically problematic. Critics pointed to the mansion as proof that prosperity gospel enriches its preachers. Supporters argued successful authors deserve their earnings. The debate missed the larger point: perception shapes trust, and a multi-million-dollar estate doesn't align with the image most people hold of pastoral life. The mansion became another receipt, but the financial scrutiny was just beginning. March 2020. The pandemic shuttered businesses nationwide. The federal government launched the Paycheck Protection Program to help employers keep staff. Lakewood Church applied and received $4.4 million. The optics were catastrophic. A megachurch with weekly attendance in the tens of thousands, a debt-free facility worth hundreds of millions, and a famous pastor with a best-selling book empire just took federal relief money during a crisis. Lakewood's official statement emphasized the loan-covered payroll for more than 350 employees during a period when in-person services halted. The church wasn't taking a salary, it was protecting jobs. Defenders noted that churches qualified as eligible employers under the program's rules. The public wasn't buying it. Social media erupted. News outlets ran stories questioning why Lakewood needed taxpayer support. The backlash intensified daily. Months later, Lakewood announced it had repaid the full $4.4 million. The statement framed it as responsible stewardship. Critics saw it as damage control. Either way, the loan became another line item in the growing ledger of questionable financial decisions. Then came the discovery that defied explanation. November 2014, Lakewood hired a plumber to repair a loose toilet. During the work, the plumber found something inside a wall, envelopes stuffed with cash and checks, the total nearly $200,000. Houston police confirmed the discovery. The funds matched money reported stolen from the church in 2014 during a burglary. Investigators documented it. The church recovered the cash. Case closed. Except the story raised more questions than it answered. How does $200,000 end up inside a wall? Why wasn't it in a safe or a bank? What kind of financial protocols allow that scenario? Official statements called it recovery from a previous crime. No further explanation offered. The incident added another layer to questions about Lakewood's financial transparency. How money moves, how it's tracked, how it's protected. 3 financial moments: a mansion, a loan, cash in a wall. Each one explained, each one defended, each one reinforcing a perception Lakewood couldn't shake, that its leadership operates by different rules. But money was just one category of receipts. What came next tested something deeper than financial credibility. August 27, 2017. Hurricane Harvey made landfall. Within hours, Houston drowned. Entire neighborhoods disappeared underwater. Families evacuated with nothing. Emergency shelters filled past capacity, and social media turned its attention to Lakewood Church. The building sat empty, services canceled, doors closed. While smaller churches across the city opened their facilities to flood victims, America's largest congregation remained inaccessible. The anger spread faster than the floodwater. Twitter exploded with accusations. Instagram filled with side-by-side images. Lakewood's massive arena versus families wading through chest-deep water. The optics were indefensible. Lakewood's initial response cited safety concerns. The church claimed flooding inside the building made it unsafe for occupancy. City officials hadn't designated it as a shelter. The explanation landed flat. Local reporters visited the facility. Camera crews showed minimal water damage in peripheral areas. The main sanctuary appeared dry. Fact-checkers later confirmed that Lakewood did coordinate with Houston's emergency management and officially opened as a shelter on August 28th, once cleared by the city. The timeline mattered. So did the perception. To the public watching disaster unfold in real time, the delay looked like abandonment. The coordination looked like excuse-making. The eventual opening looked like damage control. Joel Osteen addressed the controversy in interviews and from the pulpit. He explained the process, thanked volunteers, and emphasized Lakewood's ongoing relief efforts. His response was visible, documented, and repeated. Victoria Osteen's public response was notably limited. Critics noted the absence. Defenders argued she didn't need to duplicate Joel's statements. True. But the pattern was establishing itself. When crisis demands leadership visibility, one co-pastor shows up, the other doesn't. Hurricane Harvey damaged Lakewood's reputation in ways no flood could wash away. The trust gap widened, but the test of leadership visibility wasn't over. February 11, 2024, between services at Lakewood Church, a woman entered the building with her young son. She carried a rifle. In a nursery hallway, she began shooting. 2 people were hit. A 57-year-old man wounded. The shooter's 7-year-old son critically injured. Off-duty police officers assigned to church security engaged immediately. They shot and killed the suspect within seconds. The attack was sudden, chaotic, terrifying for the thousands of people inside the building. Authorities later described the shooter as mentally unstable, driven by personal grievances unrelated to any organized threat. Joel Osteen addressed the congregation the following week. He thanked law enforcement. He offered prayers for the wounded. He reassured the community. His statement was public, emotional, and direct. Victoria Osteen's response during this crisis was again limited in public view. Social media noticed. Comment sections filled with questions. Where was the co-pastor? Why wasn't she addressing the trauma alongside Joel? If leadership is shared, why does visibility remain one-sided? Supporters argued she was supporting the congregation privately, that public statements aren't the only measure of leadership. Critics saw a pattern that had repeated too many times to ignore. When Lakewood faces its darkest moments, one leader speaks, the other remains in the background. 2 crises, years apart, different circumstances, same visibility gap. The question was no longer about individual incidents. It was about what that gap revealed. March 2024. Joel Osteen stood before the congregation with an announcement. Lakewood Church had paid off its $100 million renovation loan, completely debt-free. The statement landed as both celebration and demonstration. For supporters, it proved financial discipline and faithful stewardship. For critics, it reinforced the perception of Lakewood as a corporate empire, not a congregation. A milestone measured in 9 figures, but the announcement did something else. It crystallized the central paradox that had been building through every controversy, every crisis, every public moment. Lakewood claims co-leadership. The institution lists 2 pastors. Official documents carry both names. The stage hosts both figures. Yet the public face, the crisis response, the announcements that matter, they all flow through one person. When the airline incident happened, Victoria faced legal consequences. When the sermon went viral, her words became the target. When financial decisions drew scrutiny, both names appeared on property records. When Hurricane Harvey demanded response, one voice answered. When gunfire erupted, one leader addressed the trauma. Each incident, viewed alone, carries its own explanation. Context exists. Legal outcomes matter. Defenders have valid points. But together, they form something larger. A pattern of moments where the secondary leader's visibility generates disproportionate controversy, where her presence creates friction and her absence creates questions. Where the co-pastor title exists on paper but dissolves under pressure. The receipts don't lie, they accumulate. An FAA fine, a viral clip, a mansion, a delayed shelter, silence during shooting, each one documented, each one permanent, each one reshaping how the public sees Lakewood's leadership. In the digital age, every moment gets archived, every controversy lives forever. Trust builds slowly, it shatters instantly. And institutions that operate at Lakewood scale can't afford leadership that generates more questions than answers. The arena still fills every week. The broadcasts still reach millions. The books still sell. The brand remains powerful. But credibility isn't measured in attendance figures or arena capacity. It's measured in the gap between what an institution claims and what the public believes. Lakewood claims shared leadership at the highest level. The public sees one face they trust and another that collects receipts. The question isn't whether Victoria Osteen is destroying Lakewood. The question is whether Lakewood can survive what those receipts reveal about who's really leading, and whether the congregation will notice the difference before the institution does.